course, the developing story today is what's happened outside Wits University. You've seen at least one student being arrested, another complaining she couldn't breathe after police officers broke up protests today. Earlier, one person died as a result of that, an innocent bystander. Well, the University of Pretoria has extended its registration deadline to the end of the month. This is to ease the burden on students still waiting for assistance from the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. The university says it's in contact with students who've been provisionally accepted. They'll be funding their internet-enabled devices from book allowances. Protests erupting at Wits and other tertiary institutions in recent days over the shortfall in NSFAS funding. This has led to delays in the registration for thousands of students. All right, well, let's get some reaction to the situation at Wits University and as it's played out. The Deputy President of the Wits SRC, the Students' Representative Council there, is Sthembiso Dabula. Sthembiso, good afternoon to you and thank you for your time. I know it's been a very difficult day for you and everyone else at Wits University. After everything that we've seen, one person dying, your students who you represent being dispersed by police, I can't imagine how you're feeling right now.
I'm disgruntled. I'm very angry at the state. I'm angry at the police because at this point, students were sitting down and surrendering. They had their hands up, literally their hands up. The videos are showing, the NCA was showing, everything is there. Our hands were up and they just started shooting. We were not violent. We were sitting down. What is the rationale behind shooting students who are harmless, shooting students who are not carrying any weapons? There's no rationale behind that. So actually, what they're saying to us is that they are fighting us on the basis that we are fighting financial exclusion.
How would you describe the way police have behaved today, Sthembiso?
It's disappointing because each and every time when we are facing issues of gender-based violence, they are not there. Whenever there's crime in Braamfontein, they are not there. The SRC had to ask the city to put JMPD visibility there because each and every time we are being violated by men, there's high crime level in Braamfontein, yet they are never there. But now we are protesting for financial exclusion and they are there with their guns. They came guns blazing. You should see the videos. Students are sitting down, literally sitting down with their hands up. That's a sign of surrendering.
It's been incredible. We've been watching it here with our team. Sthembiso, how do we move on from here? Firstly, let me start like this. Wits University themselves, are you prepared to sit down and talk with them?
We've been talking with Wits. We had 8 meetings already. They know our demands. They know the concessions we send to them. And time again, they keep disregarding whatever we are saying to them, whatever we are bringing to the table. They keep telling us, no, we are having a student debt of 1 billion, that they're claiming that university contributes 1 billion in scholarships. How can they contribute 1 billion to scholarships and we have 1 billion debt over the years? It doesn't make sense. And they claim that they contribute 1 billion yearly. And they're saying this 1 billion of student debt is money that accumulated over the years. They're utterly lying. And at this point, students shouldn't be facing financial exclusion if Wits has money, 1 billion to spend on finances. They should be in a position to clear debt. Wits is raising money towards the centenary. They are raising 3 billion. Where is that money going if it's not going to cover student debt? We are not coming here protesting and our argument is not sound. It is sound. We even tried to raise 21 million in 2021 to make it easy for them to clear student debt, but to no avail. They're not doing anything. They're not cooperative. They're not doing anything. Instead, they're increasing registration to say we're going to extend registration from this date to that date. But if you're going to extend registration without clearing their debt, how are they going to register? Because it doesn't mean they'll be rich tomorrow. All these students are students who are poor, students who can't afford fees.
The Department of Higher Education, the Minister, Dr. Bladen Zamande, how would you describe what they're saying? There was a cabinet meeting today. There's been a suggestion, I think, from a spokesperson that there will be some announcements on this issue tomorrow. So Cabinet seems to be making a decision about the funding of higher education. What are you hoping for from national government?
We are hoping that they're going to change their mind because not so long ago they were saying that they might not be able to fund NSFAS students who are doing their first year. Where are they going to get money? They just accessed higher education. We have no trust in them. He's a communist, by the way. He knows the struggles of the working class, yet he is quiet. We are highly disappointed at his leadership. We were expecting him to defend students. We were expecting him to understand that the children of the working class and the students who are poor are the ones who are affected the most. So we have no hope. We really have no hope. At this point in time, we are just waiting to listen to what they have to say.
Are you expecting...
Because...
Go on, Con.
One thing that the government did is that when we were fighting for free education, they only changed NSFAS from being a loan to being a bursary. How is it a step towards the realization of free education if, one, people need to qualify for it, two, they can't even use it to further their studies, three, they can be defunded at any point, because third-year LLB students who are doing their final year now, they can't be funded by NSFAS, mainly because they are claiming that they don't have fees. And NSFAS has been funding them all along. So if NSFAS is going to be the solution in higher education, we don't even trust that Blade is going to deliver what we are expecting as students and student leaders.
Sthembiso, I mean, we saw today's protests being broken up. We saw how the police did it. Are you expecting more protests, I mean, even tonight or tomorrow?
We are not going to retreat. One person died already. They might as well kill all of us. Because if you are going to retreat, it means each and every time you are protest, they are going to respond the same way they've been responding. So we are not going to retreat until they kill all of us. And people will know that we died mainly because we fight for free education. We're fighting financial exclusion.
Who is leading the protests? And I realize that there won't be one leader. There doesn't need to be one leader. There can be as many leaders as the students themselves would like. We've seen on our screens many people wearing ANC, EFF T-shirts, or certainly the colours seem to indicate it's those political parties. Is it political movements? Is it you as the SRC? Is it all three of you? Are there other organizations involved as well?
It's the SRC. It's the SRC. Political organizations are clubs and societies at Wits, and clubs and societies fall under the SRC. So we decided as school councils, as clubs and societies, as the SRC, we are going to lead and go forward. But the protest was led by the SRC because we are the first defense of students.
So, Sthembiso, I mean, a lot needs to happen now. And I mean, you will know that this is a problem that happened, you know, 10 years ago. We saw protests just a few years ago. But every time, as universities open at the start of the academic year, for many years we've had this problem. And the problem is always the same. It's about financial exclusions. It's about students who have done well enough in matric through their own hard work to get into university and then being told they can't go and study because they don't have money. Now, government will say that there's a huge amount of debt, that there's social grants, that there are other things that money needs to be spent on. How do we resolve this problem? The NSFAS option clearly isn't working this year.
The solution is clear. The generation in 2015 and 2016 provided a solution by saying we want free decolonized education. That can be achieved. It can be achieved. The government needs to implement its policies and not only have policies in place. Because for the mere fact that they can fund students through NSFAS, there's more they can actually do. There was 500 billion that was donated for COVID. That money could have been used for the betterment of education as well. That is so much money, so much money. So it means that we can acquire money, improve our policies and make everything better. Because if each and every time we will have to protest for financial exclusion every year, it means students will keep dying, mainly because they can't access education. The mandate is clear. We want free, decolonized education, and we believe the government is capable and they can do it.
Sthembiso Dabula, thank you. Deputy President of the Student Representative Council at Wits University.